Hi, I'm Sam, one of your academic advisors. I'm going to show you how you can use the engineering flowcharts to plan your degree path. There's a flowchart for every engineering major, and you can find them linked in this module. For now, I'm going to show you the mechanical engineering flowchart, as this is one of our most popular majors, and if you can read one of the flowcharts, you can read them all. Now, if this is your first time looking at one of the engineering flowcharts, it probably seems like a confusing mess. Don't worry, we're about to make sense of it. I'm going to zoom in so we can see a little more clearly. Let's start simple. You see there are a lot of bubbles and lines on this page. The bubbles represent the courses you'll need to take for your degree. On this page, there is one bubble for every course required for the mechanical engineering major. On each bubble, you can see the course name, the course code, and up here in the corner, you can see the credit hours for each course. So you'll notice that Calculus 1 here is MA 171, and it's 4 credit hours. You might have noticed the flowchart is divided into 4 years. Here's year 1, year 2, year 3, and year 4. Each year has 2 rows. In year 1, the first row represents a common first fall semester. The second row is a common first spring semester. In year 2, there's a fall and spring as well, and so on. For many of you, your semesters won't look exactly like the ones shown here, and that's fine. We have some flexibility to move things around. More on that later. First, let's talk about all these crisscrossing lines that you see. The lines on the flowchart represent prerequisites. Anywhere you see a solid line, that indicates that you must complete one course before you're eligible to take the next. An easy example is calculus. You must complete Calculus 1 before you can take Calculus 2. But calculus is also a prerequisite for PH 111, Physics 1, and MAE 211, Intro to Computational Tools. Before you can take any of these 3 courses, you must first complete Calculus 1. There are also some dotted lines. These represent what are called prerequisites with concurrency. You can see that there's a line that starts here at Calculus 3 and branches to statics. This means that you can take Calculus 3 before statics, or you can take them in the same semester, but you can't take statics before Calculus 3. The same is true anywhere else you see a dotted line. Now, what about the courses that don't have any lines connecting them? For the most part, these are electives. You can see 6 gray boxes marked HSBS/HFA. These are your Gen Ed electives. They're not prerequisites for anything else, and for most of them, they don't have any prerequisites themselves. You have many options for each of these electives, and they can be taken at any time in almost any order. You'll learn more about these electives in another module, as well as the breakdown of the college writing requirement you see here. I mentioned that there is some flexibility in the flowcharts. Let's talk about that. As long as you meet the prerequisites, you can take these courses in a different order from what's presented here. For example, if you complete EGR 101, Computing for Engineers, in your first semester, you could take ISE 321, Engineering Economy, as early as your second semester, because it only has EGR 101 as a prerequisite. For most of you, that won't be the most efficient path forward, as you should be completing some prerequisites in your first semesters, but it is a possibility. The flowchart just represents the most efficient path through the degree for most students, so it's recommended that you stay fairly close to it. Many of you will be coming in with AP or dual enrollment credit, though. You might have part of your first year completed already. That's where the flexibility comes in. If you have credits for these courses, for example, let's say you have Calculus 1, a couple of electives, maybe you took a biology course and a college writing course. Well, your first semester isn't going to be right down the line here. You might instead take something like this in your first semester. It's 2, writing 2. That's just one example. Or maybe your math placement has you starting in a pre-calculus course. In that case, you may not be eligible for some of the courses in a typical first semester. Not to worry, we can go ahead and take some electives. So, if you are in pre-calculus, your first semester might look something like this. Let's say you'll take a pre-calculus course, but we'll also get a couple of electives done. We'll take FYE. You can take whichever college writing course is the earliest. You could even come down here and take a science elective. So there are a lot of paths through this flowchart. If you want to know more about math placement, that's covered in another module as well. Again, this flowchart is a tool to help you plan. I recommend coming back to it between semesters to see where you are, what you have coming up, and maybe plan a semester or two ahead. You may find that sometimes you need to reevaluate your plans. Maybe an internship opportunity comes up, or maybe you're working part-time, or you have a schedule conflict. This is a good tool to help you figure out an alternate route when you need one. Of course, you can always reach out to your advisors for help. We can help you navigate this thing and choose a path forward that's going to work for you. Now, before I end the video, I want to take a quick look at another flowchart. Here's the chemical engineering flowchart. It has some courses in common with mechanical engineering, but you can see that there's a yellow box over here on the right side, and it's marked concentrations. If your engineering major has concentrations, you'll find a similar box on its flowchart. Concentrations are mostly built from junior and senior level courses, so this isn't something you need to worry too much about just yet. But once you get to that point, you'll just follow the course path of the concentration you've chosen. For example, if you are in materials for chemical engineering, you'll take these courses. Or if you're in biotechnology, you'll take these courses. You may also have noticed that some of these chemical engineering courses have dark gray on their lower half. Several majors have courses that look like this. These are semester-specific courses. For example, CHE 201, Intro to Chemical Engineering Processes, can only be taken in fall semesters. You'll see that it's in the fall row of year 2. These two courses can only be taken in spring semesters, and these only in fall, and these only in spring. So when you're planning between semesters, it's important to keep that in mind so that you can plan ahead effectively. Of course, you can always talk to an advisor and have us look over any plan you've made if you want a second set of eyes on it, or if you have any questions about the best route forward. We're happy to help with that. Okay, that's all for this video. If you're still a little uncertain about the flowcharts, don't worry. Pre-charge will help you get your first semester in order, and you'll spend some time with the flowcharts in your Charter Success course. And if you have any more questions about the classes you'll take in your first semester or two, go ahead and finish the pre-charge course, and then if the question isn't answered, feel free to reach out to us.